With the announcement of the closure of the last two Blockbuster stores in Alaska earlier in July, there stands just one solitary Blockbuster video store in the entire country. Where can one find this last relic of days gone by? You'll need to travel to Central Oregon to get your photo op in the town of Bend. Bend is no stranger to tourism, being located at the foot of the Cascades and just a 45-minute drive to the ski slopes of Mount Bachelor. And long before it was made official that the Blockbuster store in town was, in fact, the last store in the country, it was already a hit with many of the tourists that came through Bend. Store manager Sandy Harding explains that although the local repeat customers are what has allowed the location to not only survive but thrive throughout the years, there is definitely a large number of tourists who find their way into their store and walking down memory lane. On just a recent Sunday, Harding opened 4 new accounts and had people stopping by throughout the day to take photos in front of the store and wander the aisles. "Oh my gosh, you're still here," is one phrase she's become very familiar with. When Netflix hit the scene with their DVD delivery service, Blockbuster didn't react quickly enough and saw much of their clientele move to the more convenient service. Blockbuster would eventually offer their own version of home delivery, but as with many things, it would be too little too late. Harding recalls a Blockbuster convention she attended years ago, where rumors circulated of a vending machine that would dispense movies. "We were thinking, gosh, this could be a big deal." And they were saying, no, it's not a big deal. They were more worried about Netflix. Then all of a sudden, Redbox was everywhere. Blockbuster would eventually make a bold move by teaming up with the Weinstein Company to produce exclusive content, much like how Netflix, Amazon Prime, and Hulu produce their own content today. Blockbuster co-produced Hannibal Rising with Weinstein Company and would go on to solely produce Stephen King's 1408. Although this was ahead of the curve at the time, these attempts would also fall short. What exactly are they doing right in Bend that has ensured their continued success despite having 6 Redbox kiosks situated within a 1-mile radius? Harding attributes much of it to good old-fashioned customer service. At Redbox, if your disc is damaged, there's nobody to talk to. You can go back and kick the machine, but you're not going to get anything out of it. Or you can come here and talk to us, and we'll give you another one, explains Harding. Customer service is certainly fundamental in their business, but it's not everything. When Harding first came to work for Ken and Debbie Tischer in 2004, they also owned 4 other Blockbuster franchise locations in Central Oregon. Slowly, over the years, one location after another closed, with the Redmond location only 17 miles north of Bend, closing just earlier this year in March. Harding explains that Bend is very interlocal and keeping the sense of community. Despite Bend's recent booming growth, coming in as the fastest-growing city in the U.S. in 2017, the customers are still loyal and coming in week after week. That's not to say that their customers are living in yesteryear and falling behind with technology. They are merely seeking out the personal interactions that seem to be lacking with our digital world these days. Harding herself admits to having a Netflix subscription. "My husband will hate me saying this, but he's addicted to all those Marvel shows. He will binge watch them forever." With the many options for entertainment these days, a proper video store fills a certain niche. Video stores still have their place as the last stand for those impossible-to-find titles online. No matter how many subscriptions you may have, certain movies have just managed to elude the web. This is where Harding is more than happy to help. Just recently, a customer looking for the drama Kids found it on the shelves at her store. He couldn't help that, "I've been looking for this movie forever." The classics are also great business, especially soon after an actor's death. When Gene Wilder passed away, we had a lot of people coming in renting Young Frankenstein and Willy Wonka and different things like that they couldn't get on Amazon or they couldn't find it anywhere else. Old movies aren't the only relics to be found at Bend's Blockbuster. When the Blockbuster franchise was coming to its final days with Dish Network, Dish allowed the Tishers to keep the franchise name and still operate as Blockbuster. This means that with the dissolution of the franchise, the system of supports were also gone. You should come to patronize this last Blockbuster. Pay special attention to the checkout process, and you'll find that the store still uses the original IBM computers from the 90s, complete with floppy disks. Harding laughs as she admits that most people employed at the store have no idea what a floppy disk is. I'll say, get the floppy disk out and reprogram the computer. They've got no idea. They're looking for a thumb drive or something. Also gone are the recognizable branded merchandise at the counters, such as the iconic microwave popcorn tub with Blockbuster's logo across the front, and along with that, most vendors. When the newest must-see movies are released, Harding finds herself running around town early the morning of the release, scooping up enough copies from retailers such as Target and Walmart to fill her store's shelves. While it may be a lot of work, it's worth it to Harding to see the next generation bringing in their own kids to browse movies as a family. Many of her customers are reliving their own childhood with this tradition, and some kids, having never set foot inside a video store, are experiencing something completely new. When longtime customer, 10-year-old Kaylee Whitefish, was asked why she prefers Blockbuster, she said, "Because I can actually look and decide instead of accidentally clicking on the wrong movie." Kaylee's mother, Mary Whitefish, who has been bringing Kaylee to this Blockbuster ever since her days in utero, adds that they don't actually have cable TV at home. Instead of the $135 a month for cable TV services, she's part of the DVD Club program. Sarah and Scott Akarugi, 28 and 30 respectively, also often bring their children in. They love the very affordable 99-cent kids section, making it cheaper than Redbox rentals. Scott adds that Bend is a weird place. People here are very community-minded. Harding's 3 sons, Jeremy, Alex, and Ryan, have seen their own family tradition play out as each of them, one by one, have put in their time as employees. And it's not just her own sons who Harding has mothered in the store. She often takes on the role of mentor and mother with many of the kids who've come to work with her over the years. Harding believes in the value of these types of first jobs for kids, something that teaches them strong work ethics. Harding sees the ongoing trend of retailers closing their storefronts as everything moves online and can't help but feel the loss personally. So many people are unemployed now because their only skill was retail, and now they are sitting at home. I'm one of them too. I've been in retail for over 20 years. People now are a lot more comfortable buying online in their underwear than going down to the store. It's unfortunate because that's a part of communication that we're missing. Maybe that's why people aren't as nice to each other anymore. We lose that personal connection with people we desperately need. It's kind of neat, but yeah, we are kind of a museum. The thought of being the last Blockbuster just blows my mind. It's absolutely crazy.